And just like that, here we are again. It's the start of another FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign, kicking off match day 1 out of 10, and maybe even more if we're not a group winner. Algeria hosts Somalia. Yeah, that's right, Somalia, the Somali national team. No, I'm not talking about a kickabout in Victoria Park outside ELM, Whitechapel, between the Mandem. I'm talking about the genuine Somali national team. Yes, they do exist. We'll come to them a little bit later, visiting the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Baraki in Algeria. And kickoff is at 5 o'clock local time on Thursday afternoon. Many people wondering why on earth are Algeria not playing in their stellar primetime 8 o'clock slot. The reason behind this, I believe, is that after the game, around about 7 o'clock there, the team are going to fly to Mozambique later that evening. It's a 10-hour trip. It's quite long to Mozambique. The team have taken the decision to fly there after full time, which suggests to me there's gotta be surely from Belmadi some serious rotation, because that Mozambique game, just a few days later on Sunday lunchtime, even earlier in the day, is a huge game in Maputo. And with respect to playing Somalia at home, Mozambique away is a much tougher test. Well, the fact that it is away says it itself, but those humid lunchtime conditions in Mozambique, Algeria cannot afford any slip-ups, particularly after what happened last time out in the road to Qatar. But more on Mozambique later in the week. Let's focus on this Somalia fixture. The 23 players Belmadi picked, we spoke about before. What teams are he going to pick? I think he's got to rest and rotate, keep them in cotton wool. That Mozambique game is not far away at all. I mean, the fact that the Somalia game is around the corner. This Mozambique game, I'd be resting the key players, because with respect to Somalia, we should be beating them with whatever squad we put out from this 23. So it would not surprise me in the slightest if he played Zugba in goal. It's what I would do. Larouci at left back, Tuba and Tugay at the back. Maybe he'll play Atal because he's not played for weeks, but I'd play Van den Kerkhoff in the midfield. The midfielders that don't usually get much game time, I'd give Ben Talib a start, Badawi and probably Faguli as well. On the left, probably play Guiri because there's not much choice for the left, and Amora is coming back from an injury, so maybe not 100% fit to start. He did miss the game in the Belgian league at the weekend against Kortrijk, and I want to see Guiri get his first goal. And if he can't score against Somalia at home, when is he going to blooming do it? So Guiri on the left, no Boitnani, so Adam Unas on the right, and then either Baghdad Bounedjah or Islam Slimani up top. Probably go for Baghdad Bounedjah because we know what Slimani was all about. Been a while since we've seen Bounedjah. So we either do that, and I think that's the sensible option, to keep the squad and the key players, the likes of Awar and Mahrez and Ben Sebaini, these sorts of guys, keep them fit and fresh, Ait-Nouri, for that Mozambique game, because the last thing you want is a player getting injured against Somalia and then missing a key crucial clash. Or does Belmadi go through the, I'm going to call it the brutal route, play his best team, his best 11 at home to Somalia, smash them, get his rhythm and his best 11 going and getting the chemistry and keeping a consistent team, but also keeping his best players fatigued and tired for that trip to Mozambique on Sunday? I don't think that's wise, because the game, like I said, it's against Somalia, it's not against Nigeria or Egypt. We can afford to make changes, and with the second game so soon, he should do. It'd be stupid to risk players, or bit of both, get the job done after 60 minutes and then make a load of subs. But for me, I really would play the rotated side, enjoy the win, get the players fresh for the Mozambique game. So that's the way I see it. Now, of course, this is a 6-team group. It's not just Algeria and Somalia in here. You've also got Mozambique, of course. You've got Guinea with their Girassi in the Bundesliga, who's literally getting the same numbers as Harry Kane at the moment. You've got Botswana in there as well. And you've got Uganda, who Algeria seems to be playing every single match day in these groups. So it's a 6-team group. You come first, you're on the plane to the World Cup. The best 4 second place finishes across the 9 groups will go ahead into a semi-final and then a final and then another interconfederation final. So it's very complicated to come second. That's why it's imperative that Algeria do not drop points in these 2 games. Maximum points, we have to come out of this 6 points out of 6. Because I know people are saying, oh, if we drop points, long way to go, the rest of the games are so far away. Listen, you drop points now, it's going to affect you come the rest of those games. Because I'll tell you now, Guinea are not going to drop any points, I don't think. So That's the battle for me. It's going to be Algeria and Guinea going toe-to-toe for that first spot. And it'll be a good battle. And it'll be a healthy, competitive battle. Of course, I'd rather be battling with Guinea than the likes of Cameroon and all that nonsense again. So we should be okay. So, of course, this is not the only fixture in match day 1 of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. It's not the only fixture from Algeria's group taking place over the next few days. So elsewhere in the group, Botswana are taking on Mozambique in Francistown. I don't think Botswana are a particular threat to Algeria's World Cup qualification, but it would be nice to see Mozambique drop some points early on, because if Mozambique win in Francistown and then got something against us, you'd say they're in the mix, because if they get points against Algeria, they'd have to be respected. And Guinea hosting Uganda, we could love an early favour early doors from Uganda. I think they're not particularly happy with us as it is, because there was a lot of controversy, of course, in the recent groups we've been involved with Uganda in AFCON qualifiers. They missed out on it. They'll be wanting to get one over Algeria. Of course, we did beat them home and away. So, but they're taking on Guinea, who are a good side. Now, worth pointing out, Guinea are not playing in Conakry. Guinea cannot play any home game still. Yes, you've guessed it. Guinea are going to be playing in Morocco, in Berkane, against Uganda. Whilst they might not be in Guinea, you expect Guinea to still put Uganda away, particularly with the form of Serhou Girassi. And I'm glad we're not playing Guinea now with that informed Girassi, because that would be a real handful for our defence. So, be nice if Botswana and Mozambique draw. Be nice if Guinea would drop some points as well. But the way I see it, Guinea are going to beat Uganda, Algeria are going to beat Somalia, and both of those sides are going to come out with 3 points. And Mozambique may even come out with 3 points in Francistown, which would leave the 3 front runners really in this group with 3 points after the opening game. Now, what do we know about Somalia? There's not much information to go on. They don't even play in AFCON qualifiers. Not in AFCON, they don't even play AFCON qualifiers. We've seen some teams in recent days withdraw from World Cup qualifiers, the likes of Eritrea. But Somalia, for whoever the team is, they are missing a lot of key players. There's also a lot of politics involved in East African football. A lot of key Somali players will be missing this game. Their new number 9, Bilal Elmi, who plays in Norway, was involved in October. He's not involved in this camp. There's several players from Somalia, particularly also players playing in the likes of Sweden, Scandinavia, those sorts of areas. They're going to be missing out on this squad as well. This national team, you know, with respect, Algeria would expect to beat whatever side Somalia put out, but they are missing some good players. So it's not a full reflection of how good Somalia are. And of course, remember the Qatari World Cup qualifiers, they did beat Zimbabwe. So it's not improbable and impossible for them to get some points in this group. The federation it's a bit messy. If you think the politics in African football for the mainstream countries is bad, it's far worse here. But some of the stories are beautiful from the Somali national team. And what about this? #United, Spencer FC's club, right? He owns the club, he's the chairman, isn't he? Playing in non-league English football. #United, one of their players is in the Somali squad to face Algeria. We're going to be playing against a #United player. That is the level of opposition. Zakaria Hassan of #United has been called up for the very first time by Somalia. What? This is amazing, isn't it? I mean, I know I joked about playing the man from ELM and all those sorts of people, right? Genuinely, the guys at the # are going to play against us in a World Cup qualifier. It's a beautiful moment. I genuinely think, you know, from having friends and seeing people, you know, there's a lot of Somalis in the UK. Some of them are really good ballers. Like, if they got some of the foreign-born players, like the way Algeria get players born in France and stuff like that, if Somalia looked at their diaspora and got players born in the UK, their team would be far more progressive as it is now. Same with Pakistan. Pakistan won a World Cup qualifier a few days ago. They're now in the next stage of the qualifying. They're going to be playing Saudi Arabia, Pakistan. These FAs are quite greedy, and some players are very scared to speak out. Now, I spoke about Eritrea recently. Morocco were due to host Eritrea in their opening World Cup qualifier. Morocco will be given the win, probably a 3-0 victory, because Eritrea have withdrawn from the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. People thinking, okay, maybe they can't afford it. Maybe there's FA problems. The FA have withdrawn the team. Again, Eritrea don't play AFCON qualifiers because they're scared that if Eritrea were to go to Morocco and play that game, that their players would never come back. It would give the players an excuse to escape the country, a rare opportunity to escape Eritrea and not have to return. So for that reason, they are withdrawn, which leaves Morocco with just one game and a 5-team group. I mean, some of the stories are just absolutely outrageous, but we've looked at the Somali team. I think Algeria will make changes. If we go strong, I'll be a bit annoyed actually. So the scoreline could be anything because we don't have much data to go on, but I think it's not going to be 10-0. I think 5-6-0 is sensible. Again, for Algeria, it's more about the cohesion of the team going into the AFCON and also looking at players that don't usually start. That's what it should be about. Not smacking Djibouti last time as we did 8-0 and then not qualifying even though we were the top scorers, because that doesn't get you anywhere. So I think Algeria will beat Somalia by 6-0 with a rotated side, and I think it will be an unbelievable occasion for Somalia to relish, to play in one of the best newest stadiums in Africa, the Nelson Mandela Stadium, and really show the world that they can compete at this level. And this is a stepping stone. Like I said, Somalia beat Zimbabwe last time out. They should have got past that round. They were very unlucky later on in the second round against Zimbabwe. This is good for them. And they're going to get to play 10 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, which is incredible for a nation like Somalia. But we should win the game quite comfortably. And if we concede, there will be question marks on our defence. If we won 6-1, I think Somalia would be the real winners. So we're looking forward to this game. Also, let's look ahead to the other round one fixtures. You've got Rwanda taking on Zimbabwe. You've got Equatorial Guinea taking on Namibia. You've got DR Congo taking on Mauritania. These teams seem to play each other all the time. Expect Congo to win that. And you've got Ethiopia playing Sierra Leone in El Jadida. There's a lot of games taking place in Morocco. I suppose they are a FIFA World Cup host to come. Nice way to test their stadiums out. Burundi take on Gambia. That's going to be in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam. Like I said, Botswana, Mozambique in Algeria's group. Egypt's first game at home to Djibouti in the Cairo International Stadium. Salah is going to stat pad like there's no tomorrow. He'll be appearing for the first time since Christmas Eve, I'm sure. Like I said, we beat Djibouti 8-0. I'm sure Egypt with Salah, with Marmoush, will be looking for something similar. Sudan, Togo, again in Libya, because Sudan can't play at home, unfortunately, and the political situation in Sudan, of course, is not ideal at the moment either. It's not nice, but hopefully the Sudan national team can give the people of Sudan something to cheer about. There's going to be some naughty scores in this round of fixtures. Nigeria taking on Lesotho. I mean, some of these games, of course, Algeria playing Somalia as well. Gabon playing Kenya without Aubameyang. I don't even think Lamina's there. Gabon are a complete mess. The fact that they didn't make a 24 AFCON with Aubameyang, they've got so much problems behind the scenes in their FA, a complete mess. Cape Verde, Angola, I like this game. One of my favourite fixtures from match day one. Two sides, both Portuguese-based players, and both with a real opportunity to chase down Cameroon. This group's wide open. If one of them can get a bit of pressure on Cameroon, it'll be really, really interesting. Of course, Cape Verde looking to bounce back after we smacked them 5-1. Eswatini playing Libya. Libya got to win that if they want any chance of making it to the World Cup. And of course, on the Friday, the Guinea-Uganda game, we'll be hoping for a draw in that one, that taking place in Morocco. Comoros playing the Central African Republic. Comoros looking to bounce back after not making the AFCON. Zambia at home to Congo. The likes of Dakar and Sakala, you expect Zambia to come through there okay. Liberia, Malawi, Ghana playing Madagascar. A lot of pressure surrounding Chrissy Houghton. He might not even be the man to lead them into the AFCON. Keep an eye on that one. Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau. You guessed it, in Marrakesh. Cameroon, Mauritius with Anana in the squad. They're playing at the Japoma Stadium in Douala. I know you're going to get PTSD hearing those words, but Cameroon playing against a beach, just like Ivory Coast playing against Seychelles in Abidjan, another beach. That'll be an AFCON venue being tested. Tunisia playing Sao Tome and Principe in Radez. Tunisia have got to really make themselves look convincing, because I've not been convinced. They got completely battered in the Far East Asia in the past two games. Mali at home to Chad. Many people, including myself, think Mali could be a dark horse. Look out for my big AFCON predictions for the whole tournament later in the year. South Africa expect to beat Benin in Durban. Niger against Tanzania, again in Marrakesh. We don't know what Niger are going to turn up. They started the recent qualification process, the one where we were playing them. Okay, they got a couple of draws and then they sort of fell apart. Senegal, South Sudan could be a cricket score. And on that bombshell, we'll leave it there. So Algeria take on Somalia on Thursday, inshallah, in the afternoon. We'll be back to look back at that game and some of the other fixtures that have taken place as well. let's get this World Cup qualifying campaign off to a good start. To be fair, like I said, we did beat Djibouti 8-0 last time to start off. Can we top that? Let's wait and see. I know you guys want to see goals, but come on, there are Muslim brothers at the end of the day. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Good luck to both teams, and I'll see you on the next one.